Kia ora everybody, and welcome to this video about the astrological energies that will be affecting us for the week and weekend beginning from 26th of October until the following weekend. And there's quite a lot happening in that week, so this video might end up being longer than usual. I'll do the more important things at the beginning if you want to just listen to that, but then I'll list the aspects one by one. Hopefully I'll get through it because I'm recording this before work and I need to go to work. Anyway, I do want to say that the 2025 Aotearoa Sun and Moon Calendar is ready, and I will be posting out the pre-orders this weekend. The Australian one is being worked on, and Jazz has done some really cool pictures of your guys' Australian very cute and wonderful animals, so that's coming on. But a quick look, because I'm going to do a better video about this. There's so much information in this calendar, so much on every page. You can see the lunar cycle laid out. There's these wonderful animals, birds, fish, all the animals that are from New Zealand, and they represent the characteristics of different signs, and little forecasts for the transits that are happening over that lunar month, descriptions of the signs. Anyway, I need to get onto this video, so I'll do a proper video about the calendar, but I'm excited about this. Okay, so let's get into it. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar, and let's talk about the phase of the moon that we're in at the beginning of this time period on Friday it was Thursday evening, 24th of October. It was the last quarter moon where the moon is square the sun, a closing square. That's a time to get everything finished in your projects, or at least the stage of the projects that you're at, as over that following week, the light will be coming down. So the week of this forecast, the light will be waning and we're coming down to the new moon, which we'll be talking about in this forecast. And over those days of the new moon, it's time to withdraw, be a bit quieter. Of course, we've still got to go to work, we've still got to do our stuff and look after life, but it's not so much the time to start new things. Okay, and I talked in the last video about the fact that we're in the shadow of Mars's retrograde, and there are the dates there. So 5th of October to the 7th of October, we're in Mars's pre-shadow. So that's before the retrograde, and anything that is coming up there in terms of Mars energy, like things that we want to drive forward with, fight for, take action on, those will be things that are likely to come up again with the retrograde, which is December to February. And just to note that on the 4th of November, so that's coming up soon, Mars will move into Leo. So part of the Mars retrograde is in Cancer, and part of it is in the sign of Leo. Okay. And we are in the season of Scorpio at the moment. I finally did a picture for Scorpio there. So Scorpio, the sun is in Scorpio from 23rd of October until the 22nd of November. And Scorpio is an esoteric sign. It's a deep, mysterious sign. It can have magnetic qualities like the deep water that I've got in the picture there. It can govern the things that are hidden in life, especially things to do with power. And that can be like hidden wealth. And so that on a practical level, that can be where you've got your investments. It can also be about our underlying psychology and motivations. And also deep research, because it's about looking for things that are hidden, so detective work. So the sun is in Scorpio, and always Mercury is near to the sun. It's not always at the same dates, of course, but also Venus is usually near to the sun. So we've got this whole season of the personal planets going through the sign of Scorpio. And on Friday night, for the Australians and Saturday morning. So it's overnight. Basically, just think Friday night is the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and this is an interesting new moon. So 9 degrees 34 minutes of Scorpio, and as I mentioned before, at new moon it's a few days to take some time out, have some quiet time, get on with life, but better not to start new things until you see the crescent moon in the sky, as shown in that picture, that little sliver of the brand new moon where it's usually just after it's always just after sunset that you see that, 1 or 2 days after the actual moment of the new moon. Okay, and then you can start your new projects for the month, or the new steps in your big long-term projects. Okay, I went a bit crazy with my graphics. It's naughty because I'm supposed to not spend too much time on my videos. But anyway, here is the chart of the new moon. So I'm going to go through all my graphics I did. So you can see with that circle there, the red circle, that is the moon conjunct the sun. So they're together in the sign of Scorpio, and you can see the symbol for Scorpio, and at 9 degrees and 34 minutes. And okay, one aspect that's going on is there's a trine between the new moon and Saturn. Saturn at 12 degrees of Pisces. A trine is where both planets, or the aspect, both signs are the same element. So Scorpio is water and Pisces is water, and a trine means that they're flowing well together. So there's a possibility to set up things with your new projects of the new moon with positive structures, because on the positive side of Saturn, it's about working hard and to achieve great results in the long term and setting up good structures. So that's pretty cool. But there is so much more with this new moon. My goodness. All right, so we've also got, around the time of the new moon, this opposition, and this is quite a big one, between Mars and Pluto. It only happens once every 2 years, so 180 degrees. Pluto is in that final crawl through the sign of Capricorn, crumbling the structures and the hierarchies of earthly material matters in the world, and organizations of power and control in the world. And then we've got Mars just after the new moon opposite Saturn, and both of these can be kind of angry and forceful, and expect some clashes. Anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit more. And then there's another opposition between Venus and Jupiter. This one won't be so bad. They're two benefics. Both of them usually send out really positive vibes into the world, but an opposition might mean that, say with Jupiter, we're trying to do too much too soon, trying to we're getting maybe a little bit full of ourselves. Anyway, it might not be so bad, that one, but another opposition. And then there is a third opposition, and that is between Mercury and Uranus. And these two vibe really well together. They're actually quite strongly related. They're both about ideas and logical thinking, and they can both be kind of out of the box, and they're good sociable ones. But in opposition, maybe like Uranus just tries to go too far again. Anyway, another opposition. I'm not going to dwell too long on any of these because there is so much more. And then we have a grand trine. And a grand trine, and that is between Mercury and Neptune and Mars. So Mars is slower moving than Mercury, and Neptune is very slow. That's a generational planet, and it's at the late degrees of Pisces and is there for a long time. And next year it moves into Aries. It's very exciting what's happening next year. And this trine is kicking off some of that energy at the end of Pisces with Neptune. Anyway, a trine is positive. So See what comes up that's positive. There's all this positive stuff and then this hard stuff. So I think it's going to be such a strong mixture, this full moon, new moon. Okay, and then there's these two sextiles between Mars and Uranus. That's a sextile, 60 degrees. Positive, good vibes, flowing energy. And also we've got this long-term sextile, and that's between Neptune there and Uranus. That's going to be playing out over a few years, big time. Okay, so once we put together that trine, that grand trine, and those two sextiles with the opposition with Mercury and Uranus, we have a kite formation. So there's so much energy through that central axis between Mercury and Uranus, but it's supported with the trines and the sextiles. Big energy. But wait, there's more. We've also got another kite formation with a grand trine with the same grand trine, but it's also setting off that opposition between Pluto and Mars. And of course that Pluto-Mars opposition, that's going to be hairy. That's not going to be an easy one, but hopefully with the support of the trine and the sextiles, that's going to help that, and maybe we can come out of it feeling like in the end everything is feeling a lot better. Yeah. Okay, so double kite, that is pretty unusual. If any astrologers listening to this know about that happening at another time in history, especially at the significant moment of a new moon, even though the new moon's not an aspect, I'd be keen to hear about it. So write in the comments. All right, so Mars opposite Pluto. Pluto, again, is about deep desires, underlying motivations, sort of deep wealth or great wealth, or coming into wealth, or losing it all, going into great debt. And there's a magnetic intensity altogether about Pluto. And that is in the sign of Capricorn. And as I've talked about, Capricorn is about hierarchical structures, achieving mastery by working hard over the long term. And it's traditional. It's a conservative sign. And Pluto is crumbling some of those Capricorn significations. Okay, and Mars is about desire and energy, a fighting spirit, warrior energy, initiative, entrepreneurship. So, but yeah, the downside of Mars is to get too aggro, too much fighting. And Pluto can be like that too, but Pluto's more like in this underground, hidden way. So, and then Mars is in Cancer. And Mars is really kind of like nurturing and sensitive and wanting to embrace everything, very intuitive. And it goes about things in a roundabout way, not in a direct way like Mars. And so Mars in Cancer is not usually very happy, and the opposition happens with Mars in Cancer. So there could be some passive aggression with that underlying tension that could explode because we've got that aspect where it could all come to a head. So that's not pleasant. So that's on Sunday night as well. Is that the same one as the... Hang on, just going to pause. Yes, I've just checked. And the new moon is Friday night, and the aspect becomes exact on the Sunday night between Mars opposite Pluto. Okay, now I'm going to go through the aspects for this week. So Mars sextile Uranus, that happens like once a year, but this is an opening sextile that's only once every 2 years. And that's a positive aspect where we can feel like we can fight for freedom, drive towards innovative solutions, do things that can help the good of humanity by taking positive action. So that's a goodie. but actually by the time you get this video, we'll just be coming out of it. I talked about it last week. Mars trine Neptune. So these are all aspects, and that's another big one because it's with Neptune, a slow planet. Creative initiative, taking action towards spiritual practice, fighting for the poor or the lost or the people who are dispossessed in some way, charitable acts, taking initiatives towards spirituality or creativity or making fantasy into reality. Okay, so that is positive. These aspects with Mars are going to happen 3 times because Mars is going to go retrograde. So yeah, it's going forward now, then it's going to go retrograde and then go forward again. So these positive aspects will happen 3 times, as will the harder one of Mars opposite Pluto. So, so dynamic. And then on Tuesday, we've got Venus square to Saturn. And this is a tense aspect. This can be where hard work means that you can't have your pleasures, or relationship comes against some really tricky, hard stuff where duties and responsibilities are getting in the way of you going to see your lover or you and your partner coming together in sweet ways, or being able to get on with the people that you are in partnership in other areas of life, whether that's work or fun projects. Partnership is challenged with Saturn square. But work through it because in the end you can come out with something better. Mercury opposite Uranus, as I mentioned before, so this could be something where your communication style, your Mercury and your logical thinking is not connecting well with the quirky ideas that you've got or the quirky styles that you've got with Uranus, or your revolutionary tendencies with Uranus. Okay, so just to let you know that that's going to be in the energy of around that time for a day or so. And then on Friday, we've got Mercury trine to Neptune. That's very positive. That is flowing, communicative, and good thinking energy around things to do with Neptune. So fantasy, dreams, spirituality, creativity, compassion. Awesome. Okay. And then on Friday night, we've got the new moon in Scorpio, as I've talked about. So a fresh start, especially in matters to do with Scorpio, but that will fall in a different place in everyone's chart. So it'll be in some area of life, there'll be some fresh starts soon after the new moon, and you can start initiating new things. And of course, all of that is under all those energies that I've been talking about. So just notice what happens and expect that there's going to be a mixture of feelings and energies and events. And then on Saturday, we've got Mercury trine to Mars, and that's a positive aspect. That's nice and flowing, energetic discussion, planning to take action, doing some really good logical thinking about projects and things that you really want to take action on and get going and initiate. And then Mercury sextile to Pluto, that was part of that kite formation, and with Mercury in a positive relationship with Pluto, that means that your thinking and planning and ideas can go deep in a positive way. You might uncover something interesting that was hidden beneath all those Plutonian layers. You might be talking about deep psychology. You might be planning around your investments. So you're exploring what's underneath. You might be finding some information, like if you're doing some study, you might uncover a really good source of information to help you with your study that you're doing. Oh, actually, I'm doing some study lately because I'm going to be doing a video with Ksenia, actually recording it this coming week, but it will come out in December, and that's about the Jupiter-Saturn square, and I can see that that's a really good aspect for my research, so that's cool. Okay, and then on Sunday, so much happening. Mercury goes into Sagittarius, so that's a different for energy for Mercury. Instead of being all deep and psychological and esoteric that Mercury has been in Scorpio, it will be in Sagittarius. So it might be making plans for adventure, talking about travel. Oh gosh, I've written the wrong description there. So just ignore that. Ignore that. Listen to me instead. Okay, so yeah, with Mercury in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is adventurous and energetic and confident. And so Mercury, and in your talk and your discussions, you might be more bold and energetic, optimistic, and making plans for travel and adventure. So that's pretty cool. And then Mars opposite Pluto. That is that hard one. Okay, so we're thinking of clashes here. We are, and there's two opposing forces pulling apart from each other. So underlying tensions that actually come to a head, where the dummy is spat. He spit the dummy. Deep explosions, passive aggression that blows out, like it all comes to a head. Hidden anger that you become aware of, violent releases, not an easy energy. So that is the Sunday night, so late Sunday in Australia and early Monday morning in New Zealand. Not the easiest. Okay. So that's all from me, everybody. Thank you for listening. And thank you, everyone who pre-ordered the Aotearoa edition of the calendar. I'll be packaging up those orders this weekend. I'm going to enjoy that and send them off to you. And I hope you find it a really useful resource to refer to over the year, each week and month over 2025. And all the best for the week, everybody. There's some hard stuff coming up, but it will affect everyone differently, and nobody's going to get all of it or all at once. And whatever you're hearing on the news, it's almost never as bad as that in real life. So yeah, it'll be good. And there's lots of positive stuff in there as well. So all the best. Kia pai te wiki. Hei konara. Mauri ora. Ka kite, and have a good one. Bye for now.